In Gears of War news and PS5 news and Xbox losing its exclusives news, we have this article from PlayStation Universe. Gears of War collection is reportedly heading to PS5 day one with Xbox PC release. So this is just more further confirmation that Xbox is losing their identity. No, I'm kidding. It's just further confirmation that Xbox is kind of just doing their own thing, like Miles Morales in the last Spider-Man movie. Like they're doing things very differently. Gears of War, I could definitely see this happening. Fresh rumors that Gears of War is heading to PS5 have surfaced via noted leaker Ecstasis. I don't know how to pronounce that. Who has claimed that the Gears of War collection will be coming to Sony's console day and date with its Xbox and PC counterpart. I could talk about the Gears of War collection because Gears collection has cost me a lot to corroborate its existence, but it seems that it exists, and I can confirm that at the moment in which Gears collection is announced, which I don't know when it will be out, but it will be announced as multi-platform day one. I repeat again, when these kinds of remasters are announced, remasters of the old Gears games are going to be available to be cross-platform play simultaneously. Can't read today. The only thing I haven't been able to confirm is the launch of a Switch version, but it can be played cross-platform on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. There you have it, folks. I mean, I could definitely see this happening. This is a rumor, obviously, but in corroboration with all of the rumors that we've heard thus far, it's more than definite for me. Though for my journalistic integrity, I do have to say that it is a rumor and take it with a grain of salt. This isn't the first time we've heard murmurs about Gears of War making its way to PS5. Last month, Windows Central reported that Gears of War Ultimate Edition is coming to the PS5, although didn't make any mention of a collection. The Ultimate Edition was released for the Xbox One and is a remastered version of the classic 2006 cover shooter with improved visuals and other bells and whistles. Going back to 2024 July, a job posting at developer The Coalition indicated that Gears of War E-Day is also coming to Sony's current generation machine. I'm fiending for that, low-key. When that trailer dropped, I was kind of pissed because I don't have an Xbox, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, damn, if I have to buy an Xbox for this game because I want to play it so fucking bad, like I hope I don't have to buy an Xbox. Although I will say, I didn't say I hope I didn't want to have to buy an Xbox because I didn't want to spend the money. Actually, no, it's more so because I didn't want to spend the money. Like if there's a reason for me to buy an Xbox, I'll definitely cop. But I guess for now, I'm glad that it's going to be on Sony's current generation machine, the PS5. Hold on. Whoa. What was that? What happened to the sound?
Manage your business all in one place.
Holy hell.
Your way to money all in one place. Into QuickBooks.
I don't know where that is coming from. Y'all give me 1 second.
Win a bid. Win more bids.
Does it sound tweaking?
Get paid fast. Get paid fast.
I think it's some sort of trailer
all
on
in one
here.
place. Into
Can't hear
QuickBooks.
anything.
Your way to money.
Okay, that was weird. That was Betty Strange. But anyway, we back at it. Yeah, so I am content right now that it is coming on the PS5. Though for the future, I would be happy if Xbox, well, I mean, it doesn't look like they're gonna get back in the hardware side of things, so I guess it would be too much of an expectation or high hopes for that to happen. So it is what it is. Hopefully Steam, with the article that we read yesterday, hopefully they can put up more of a fight in terms of like the quote unquote console war, give Sony more of a run for its money. Because with this happening, with Xbox going multi-platform with their exclusives and everything, it gives Sony way too much power, and I don't want Sony to be the monopoly. Sony gonna turn into AT&T. If, for those of you that don't know, back in, I think it was the 90s, AT&T had so much of a monopoly over the cellular market that they had to break AT&T into, I think it was AT&T and Verizon that had, AT&T had the East Coast, Verizon had the West Coast, something like that. Or it was T-Mobile, one of those companies. And AT&T was amassing so much power that they had to break AT&T up. The government stepped in and was like, nah, you're going to turn into Sprint, you're going to turn into this, you're going to do this, and then you're going to be singular AT&T, but you're not going to have this monopoly over the market because you're starting to strangle your customers and wring them dry. That's exactly what happens with every business. When they have nothing to contest them with in the game of power, they just look to the customers and they're like, okay, so y'all need me now. If y'all want to keep enjoying the benefits or things that you're enjoying, I'm gonna wring you dry, and you're not gonna say anything about it. Hopefully that doesn't happen with the gaming industry, but we'll see how things turn out. Nevertheless, I'm still hyped that I get to play Gears of War on PlayStation, and I don't have to drop an additional, how much is an Xbox now, like $200 something, so there's that. Nothing official has been announced yet regarding Gears of War arriving on the PS5, but two titles that we do know are heading to the platform are Forza Horizon 5 and Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, the latter which arrives in spring 2025. Nice. All right, so we'll just keep our eye out on that. Moving on to an article from Insider Gaming. New Elden Ring Night Rain details to be released next week. I know a lot of people are hyped for this. I'm hyped for this. Elden Ring, an amazing franchise. From Software, an amazing company. So needless to say, this new Night Rain game is gearing up to be something crazy. Let's read. Insider Gaming has learned that new Elden Ring Night Rain details are scheduled to be released next week, including the release date. That's according to a source familiar with the game's plans, who said that information will be released on February 12th. It's understood that the announcement will make media previews and a final release date for the game, which is currently slated for the end of May. Wow. End of May. January, February, March, April, May. So that's in a few months. That's dope. For those out of the loop, the timing could make a lot of sense too. As a recent rumor has also suggested that a PlayStation State of the Play could be taking place in the same week, although it could just be a coincidence. But likely, the announcements and embargoes are because of the Elden Ring Night Rain network test, which takes place on February 14th to 17th. I know a lot of y'all don't have Valentine's, so at least you'll be able to log in and play some Elden Ring on the 14th. But for those of y'all that do, disregard this, hop on Elden Ring on the 15th. Anyway, continuing, which is undoubtedly going to see the game's contents leak online. Yeah, for sure. There's going to be tons of leaks. So it makes sense for From Software to get ahead of them with official announcements. Announced during the Game Awards 2024, Night Rain is a cooperative experience that can only be played solo or in a trio, so no duos. From Software has already confirmed that the game cannot be played as a duo. Yep. Elden Ring's game director, Junya Ishizaki, clarified why such a decision was made. The reason that we went with a 3-player focus was that we wanted to retain that sense of accomplishment you get from battling a boss together or from conquering a map together, and that sense of enjoyment. But we wanted to recreate that in a fresh way, and we felt like focusing on a 3-player co-op experience would provide a brand new sense of accomplishment with it. That's interesting. The game is scheduled to release on the PlayStation 4. The PlayStation 4, well, Elden Ring did come out for the PlayStation 4. PlayStation 7. PlayStation 7. Yo, they tripped me up with this. PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series S and X, and PC. Alright, so look out for that. February 14th and the 17th is the Night Rain network test. Look out for that. Look out for some more information regarding that. And next, from Gizmodo, we have Fantastic Four news. Fantastic Four First Steps trailer jets us back to the Silver Age. This looks exciting. Marvel's first family hits the MCU this summer on July 25th, 2025. Now, I've heard some interesting things about this. I've heard that Marvel is, or the MCU is trying to kind of reboot the franchise, and their attempt at doing this is with starting with their first family, Marvel's first family, which is the Fantastic Four, which is a very interesting take. You know, if this is successful, I can see this being fire. I'm not gonna lie. I could see this being their new Iron Man, where they can kind of take it and jump further in so many different directions with it. Let's see what this article says. After what felt like years of waiting and a decade since, for better or worse, they last graced the silver screen, the Fantastic Four are back in action with our very first look at their MCU debut. And it's one that's whisking them to the stars and back. This morning, Marvel unveiled the first public footage from the Fantastic Four First Steps, Matt Shakman's first theatrical MCU release after he produced and directed WandaVision, starring Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Joseph Quinn, and Ebon Moss-Bachrach. I think I pronounced that correctly. As the titular quartet, Reed Richards, siblings Sue and Johnny Storm, and Ben Grimm. The film follows their journeys from experimental test pilots into some of the first public superheroes on Earth after a space flight sees them suffused with cosmic radiation, granting them extraordinary abilities. Just in time for the world to need saving from the cosmic threat of Marvel's legendary devourer of worlds, Galactus, played by genre stalwart and an absolute legend in his own right, Ralph Ineson. Okay, cool. So we're going to check out this trailer. Let's see what they got for us.
Welcome to the Baxter
Can I
Building.
upscale this?
We make a point to do family dinner every week. Sunday at 7, on the dot, no matter what. We're all here.
Herbie, how's that sauce coming? Yeah, I'll be the judge of that.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm loving this already.
Okay. Okay, is this guy good or what? I want to add a couple cloves of garlic. Not because it's not delicious, I just want to add a little bit of zip, okay?
T-5.
Before we went up the first time, you couldn't turn invisible. Ben wasn't a rock.
The best pilot in the world right here.
Yeah. Best looking, he means.
And Johnny never caught fire.
Okay.
Ben has always been a rock. Johnny is Johnny.
Hi!
And I am right here. Whatever life throws at us, we'll face it together.
Oh, I love the Silver Age technology, like the cars and everything. The aesthetic, Galactus, bro.
As a family.
Okay. First steps. I think this is a microcosm for the beginning of the MCU, this reboot and where they're going to take it. First steps. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I mean, I love the aesthetic. The aesthetic is beautiful. Interesting take on the Fantastic Four. I feel like they knew they had to take things in a different direction, obviously, because they've tried to reboot Fantastic Four before and failed. And from what I understand, I never saw Silver Surfer, but there were a lot of people that didn't like it. I mean, people love Silver Surfer as a character, but the last time I had a conversation with somebody talking about that movie, it wasn't received as well as they had hoped, I think. But this is an opportunity. This would be, if that's the case, and this is third time's a charm, right? This is an opportunity for them to make things right and, you know, be a jumping off point for whatever direction the MCU is going to head after this. Honestly, the MCU has been in a lost space ever since the end of, what was it? Was it Endgame? It was the last movie? Infinity War? Whichever one. The last Thanos movie. Like, and the MCU has just been in like a death spiral, you know? So I'm hoping for the franchise that this is going to be some next level stuff. Let's see what they say. First Steps, also featuring Julia Gardner as Galactus Herald. The Silver Surfer, ooh, based on the character Shalabal from the comics, a one-time host of the Silver Surfer's power cosmic, and usually depicted as a love interest for the primary Silver Surfer, Norrin Rod, as well as John Malkovich, Natasha Lyonne, Paul Walter Hauser, and more. Fantastic Four First Steps will come off the back of this month's release of the only other MCU film gracing the big screen in 2025, Captain America Brave New World, and will no doubt help set the stage for the upcoming team-up films, The Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret War, which is gonna be crazy. I'm super hyped for this, which are set to not only involve these versions of the Fantastic Four in some capacity, but also deal with the team's most famous foe from the comics, Robert Downey Jr.'s version of Victor Von Doom. Time will tell just how that goes down, though, because clearly Marvel's first family already have a lot on their plate in their own movie to deal with, if this trailer is anything to go by. Yep. This is definitely gonna be something. This person says, sold. I'm not nearly as versed in Fantastic Four as I am X-Men, and to a lesser degree Avengers, but the previous Fantastic Four films felt off somehow to me. This looks delectable, and it's throwing some serious Incredibles vibes to boot. Yo, I felt that too, I'm not gonna lie. It looks refreshing, interesting, and like a different take. Something about it, I can't quite put my finger on it, but it feels like there's something inside of me, that part of my heart that loves Marvel, that had died. It's like that heart is like beating again. Like I'm so hyped to see this. I'm not gonna lie, I'm so hyped to see where this goes. So yeah, we're just gonna leave it at that. Keep your eye out for any new details. Let us see what's next. So we got some more DeepSeek news from Gizmodo. A DeepSeek gets an F in safety from researchers. The model failed to block a single attack attempt. Not good news, y'all. And this is why you should always be careful with hopping on trends, right? If you had downloaded DeepSeek, I would keep my eyes and ears peeled for any sort of security concerns. Be careful the type of things that you are typing into these chatbots, because they are not secure, period. So anyway, let's read what they say. Usually when large language models are given tests, achieving 100% success rate is viewed as a massive achievement. That is not quite the case with this one. Researchers at Cisco tasked Chinese AI firm DeepSeek's headline-grabbing open-source model, DeepSeek R1, with fending off 50 separate attacks designed to get the LLM to engage in what's considered harmful behavior. The chatbot took the bait on all 50 attempts, making it the least secure mainstream LLM to undergo this type of testing thus far. So DeepSeek, just be careful with the type of things that you're engaging with this thing, man. Like all 50 attempts to engage in harmful behavior. So to kind of put that into perspective, it's like if you were to put DeepSeek in an AI robot like the Terminator, it would fail all, what are they called, Pavlov's laws or something? There's like a certain grouping of laws that AI is not supposed to go against. It would fail all of those laws. Do not harm a human. It would probably hurt you. Like, just be safe with this. Continuing, Cisco's researchers attacked DeepSeek with prompts randomly pulled from the HarmBench dataset, a standardized evaluation framework designed to ensure that LLMs won't engage in malicious behavior if prompted. So, for example, if you fed a chatbot information about a person and asked it to create a personalized data script designed to get that person to believe a conspiracy theory, a secure chatbot would refuse that request. DeepSeek went along with basically everything the researchers threw at it. Damn, so you could use this to manipulate other people. That's a dangerous tool. That's crazy. If you have enough information on somebody, you could pretty much, you could use this unsecure LLM to achieve anything pretty much. According to Cisco, it threw questions at DeepSeek that covered 6 categories of harmful behaviors, including cybercrime, misinformation, illegal activities, and general harm. It has run similar tests with other AI models and found varying levels of success. Meta's Llama 3.1 model, for instance, failed 96% of the time, while OpenAI's O1 model only failed about 1/4 of the time, but none of them had failure rate as high as DeepSeek. So for any of you that were looking for a hole to pop in DeepSeek's growing and growing balloon, this is a huge one. OpenAI has only failed 25% of the time in comparison to all other LLMs, and DeepSeek has a 100% failure rate. That's something for investors to be concerned about and keep their eye on, for sure. Watch where you're putting your money. You know what I'm saying? Research is important. Continue on. Cisco isn't alone in these findings either. Security firm Adversa AI ran its own test attempting to jailbreak the DeepSeek R1 model and found it to be extremely susceptible to all kinds of attacks. The testers were able to get DeepSeek's chatbot to provide instructions on how to make a bomb. That's crazy. Extract DMT, provide advice on how to hack government databases, and detail how to hotwire a car. Yo, DeepSeek is wildin'. That's crazy. DeepSeek said, here are all the instructions on how to overthrow government and how to hotwire a car. Nah, B. I'm thinking that they're throwing the complex tests at this thing. Nah, this is simple day-to-day shit that anybody who has the app can just put in there and get results from. That's crazy. The research is just the latest bit of scrutiny of DeepSeek's model, which took the tech world by storm when it was released 2 weeks ago. The company behind the chatbot, which garnered significant attention for its functionality, despite significantly lower training costs than most American models, has come under fire by several watchdog groups over data security concerns related to how it transfers and stores user data on Chinese servers. There are concerns there. There is also a fair bit of criticism that has been levied against DeepSeek over the types of responses it gives when asked about things like Tiananmen Square and other topics that are sensitive to the Chinese government. Those critiques can come off in the genre of cheap gotchas rather than substantive criticisms, but the fact that safety guidelines were put in place to dodge these questions and not protect against harmful material is a valid hit. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, they're not going to talk about Tiananmen Square in China. It's damn near illegal. It is illegal, actually, to talk about such things. Like, this event has just been erased from history. So the fact that they got this chatbot to just ignore it is crazy. What a finesse. Hey, so y'all be careful what y'all put in there. Don't be asking no DeepSeek to hotwire vehicles. I don't want to come outside and, you know what I'm saying? Don't be tweaking. Because crimes are still crimes, whether you got it from DeepSeek or you looked it up on Google. The DeepSeek announcement was made in part to prove a point. Trump is not the only dude entity capable of flooding the zone. Hey, well, that is true. Okay, now we got in some Spotify news. I thought this was interesting. Spotify reports its first full year of profitability. Its first full year in damn near 17 years of operation of profitability. Adds 35 million monthly active users. I mean, first off, shout out to Spotify because I love Spotify. I will always kind of be a Spotify guy. But I think if you haven't started already, y'all need to be collecting physical media. You know what I'm saying? If you're enthusiasts, if you're music enthusiasts, gaming enthusiasts, whatever it is that you mess with, that you rock with, like on a deep level, I think especially music, you should be collecting music, just because for Spotify to only just become profitable is kind of scary, because think about all the playlists and music that you have saved on these platforms. If these platforms go extinct, there goes everything. You know what I'm saying? Now your comfort music or comfort playlist, you don't have them anymore. But anyway, let's dive into this article. On Tuesday morning, Spotify announced its fourth quarter earnings, marking its first full year of profitability since inception 17 years ago. Hold on, yo. Let me do something really quick. Okay. Why are my hotkeys not working? That's kind of weird. Oh, music was off. Let me turn that back on. There we go. Okay. The operating income for the quarter reached a record 477 million pounds, which is about $509 million, and amounted to 1.4 billion pounds, which is $1.49 billion for the 2024 fiscal year. Spotify also reported an addition of 35 million monthly active users, the largest Q4 net addition in the company's history, surpassing internal projections of 25 million. This increase brings the total to 675 million, representing a 12% year-over-year jump. Additionally, the company experienced growth in its paid subscriber base despite implementing 2 consecutive price hikes for premium subscriptions. The company reported 263 million total subscribers, up from 240 million in the previous quarter. Last quarter, Spotify teased the future arrival of its hi-fi or super premium subscription offering, enabling the company to increase prices even further. CEO Daniel Ek previously said the plan would cost about $17 or $18 per month, or around $5 more than the current premium tier. The company's profitability milestone comes on the heels of Spotify signing a new multi-year distribution agreement with Universal Music Group. The deal, which includes payments to artists and protects their streaming royalties, could allow Spotify to launch a new offering for fans that includes extra perks. So yeah, just something to know, it's time. And it's funny too, because physical media has been coming back. Like, vinyl stores have become popular again. People are shopping for vinyls. People are asking questions about vinyls. I have a vinyl collection. Me and my girl, we have a vinyl collection. And low-key, I want to build a CD collection as well, because that for me was like the golden era of media, CDs, growing up, because I'm 27, so 90s kid somewhat, and the CDs is crazy. So it's near and dear to my heart, and I want to keep the music that I love and enjoy. God forbid anything happens to any of these streaming platforms. If you've been paying attention to the news lately, anything is possible. So definitely start a collection, I would say, if you can afford to, and if you haven't already. Though this is good news for the industry. I mean, it is profitable, which is more and more proof to its investors, and that such a thing is possible. But yeah, just keep your eye out and your ear out, and start that collection for sure. So anyway, in insider gaming news, Bayonetta 3's developer has lost 5 more game directors. Platinum Games is going under. What is going on over there? Platinum Games has now lost the game directors for Bayonetta 3, Astral Chain, Metal Gear Rising, and other titles. These are their top games, bro. A YouTube video by former Platinum Games Vice President Hideki Kamiya revealed that the development studio will lose 5 prominent staff members. The departed employees include the game directors of some of the studio's most popular titles: Yusuke Miyata from Bayonetta 3, Adebe Tenari from Bayonetta Origins, who has left for Housemarque, Takahisa Tara from Astral Chain, Kenji Saito from Metal Gear Rising, and Masaki Yamanaka, the character designer for Resident Evil. Hideki Kamiya revealed the developer's exit from Platinum Games in the last section of this video, where the development studio's employees were seen having a party. Kamiya also asked the audience to support the newly departed developers, stating that people create games and that creativity will follow wherever they go. This is true. On the other hand, Hideki Kamiya, the former vice president of Platinum Games, created his own studio, Clovers, which Capcom backs. Dope. Kamiya's first work for the new studio will feature Okami 2. This video didn't reveal what other games the directors will do next. In other news, BioWare employees are worried about more layoffs. Also, Ubisoft's reason for layoffs was more efficient operating models. That's crazy. More efficient operating models. Ubisoft, you're falling off, bro. Anyway, what are your thoughts on Platinum Games losing 5 new directors? I will say this isn't a good sign in general, where 5, it's not just 1 or 2, it's 5 of their most prominent games. It just doesn't bode well, you know, for Platinum Games, at least. If they're going on to promote and do new projects, that's good for them, you know, and potentially good for the industry, because maybe they don't have to deal with the company politics of working at Platinum Games in particular. But who knows? We'll keep our eye out for any new developments. And in our last article, more DeepSeek news, except this might potentially be, I guess, bad news, depending on how you look at it. Bill threatens to make using DeepSeek a crime for Americans. Imagine that. If passed, Americans could be fined $1 million for downloading DeepSeek. Dog. A Republican senator wants to make downloading DeepSeek a criminal act. Okay, so it's just a bill. It hasn't been passed. It's not law yet. It could potentially be, depending on, you know, what the administration thinks makes the most sense from their perspective, depending on what'll give them the most political power, you know. We could see what happens. But anyway, let's dive into this article. A proposed new law would make it illegal for Americans to download the popular Chinese AI app DeepSeek. On Monday, Senator Josh Hawley, the Republican senator from Missouri, introduced legislation that would prohibit the import from or export to China of artificial intelligence technology. While the announcement mentions DeepSeek, the bill called the Decoupling America's Artificial Intelligence Capabilities from China Act doesn't explicitly mention the Chinese AI company. Instead, it speaks more broadly about protecting U.S. intellectual property and preventing a foreign adversary from using technology that undermines national security. Okay, when proposed like that, it doesn't sound like a bad idea, right? America cannot afford to empower our greatest adversary at the expense of our own strength. This makes sense. Ensuring American economic superiority means cutting China off from American ingenuity and halting the subsidization of CCP innovation, said Hawley in the announcement, before referencing the international concern triggered by the launch of DeepSeek's R1 model. In a matter of days, R1's arrival battered tech stocks and spooked the AI industry because the large language model was reportedly made for a fraction of the cost of AI models like OpenAI's ChatGPT-4, posing a threat to the American AI industry. OpenAI also claimed DeepSeek's training its AI off of OpenAI's data, which the internet found ironic, since OpenAI is accused of doing the same thing to develop its own models. There are also DeepSeek's ethics and privacy concerns. Users have discovered instances of censorship when using R1, such as not answering questions about Tiananmen Square or evading truths about Uyghur oppression. Then there's DeepSeek's privacy policy, which says it collects extensive data from users and stores it on Chinese servers, meaning it's vulnerable to access by the Chinese government. Vulnerable? I mean, the Chinese government has already accessed it, if that's the case. With potential surveillance and data privacy issues in mind, the DeepSeek frenzy echoes the TikTok ban, which was put into effect for similar reasons. However, unlike the TikTok ban, Hawley's legislation seeks to penalize people for downloading DeepSeek by making it a criminal act. If passed, the bill would enforce a $1 million fine, jail time up to 20 years, or both, based on the Export Control Reform Act in 2018. In addition, the ban of imports and exports of Chinese AI technology, Hawley's bill also proposes the prohibition of American companies from conducting AI research in China or in cooperation with Chinese companies, and banning U.S. companies from investing in Chinese AI companies. Okay. It's interesting. The language of the legislation is broad, which could be an effort to eliminate any loopholes that led to the rise of DeepSeek in the first place. Part of the reason why DeepSeek was developed so cost efficiently was because of the US restricted access to NVIDIA's GPUs imposed on China, forcing the company to work with chips that were possibly smuggled, less powerful, or purchased before the sanctions. He asked the question, why are we allowing American tech giants like Microsoft to help China develop DeepSeek and other AI? It's insane. We should ban the transfer of AI technology to China immediately. I'm not gonna lie, you know, in an effort to protect national interests, I can see how this makes sense. Definitely makes sense. We should, as a nation, kind of be boosting our own efforts and not this, what feels like to me, a Trojan horse. DeepSeek kind of just coming in like, hey, I'm the new guy on the scene. Boom, your stock market is doomed. Boom, the competition is doomed. Hello, I'm here to stay. Like it kind of just came through and just violated everything. And the Chinese government is not incentivized to work in the United States' best interest at all. They're decentivized to do so and actually incentivized to do the exact opposite. So I can't fault this completely. I will say that, but more to look out for.